It's 11 at night, it's 8 degrees below zero, and I am out of propane. Sometimes you suffer for what you love. Okay, just a few things to show you on the back of the bike here. This is the rim off of my parts bike, and I'm going to go ahead and explain to you asperities real quick, because the brake pads, I had to sand them down with wet or dry sandpaper, which is really fine grit, like 200 or 300. And then I got that rim on. I've got new Shinko 3x18 in the rear and 2.75 19 in the front. I've got a new chain on, and all I have to do on the other side is hook the brakes up. And on this side I got to put the cover on the front. And then I'll use my chain adjusters here to get correct chain tension on it. And to measure chain tension, you measure from the center point of your rear sprocket to the center point of your front sprocket. You find the middle, and then you lift the chain at the middle and slide the axle back to tighten it and slide it forward to loosen it. And I need to look up what this bike needs for chain tension because I don't know right offhand. But show you over here on this side. A lot of people use pliers to hold this while they tighten or loosen the other side, and that's not right because it mangles up the nice finish, and it's just not right. What you do is you take a screwdriver, stick the screwdriver in there, and then you've got something to hold it. Over on this side, I'll explain to you master links. I can find it back here somewhere. There it is. And with a master link, sorry, get focused here. With a master link, this is the open side. You want to keep the closed side in the direction of travel of the chain because the chain travels this way. Closed side, open end. That's so you don't snag it on anything. Pull the keeper, which is what this little clip is called. You don't want to pull that keeper out. And with chains, it's easiest if you keep all this on the outside so it's easy to get to. If you wanted to hide it so your chain looked all the same on this side, you could put it on the inside, but it makes it very difficult to install working through spokes. But that's the new chain, new sprockets. I'm really cold because I don't have the heat on, so that's going to be all for this video. I'm going to go ahead and explain asperities to you real quick now. Today we are going to talk about asperities, and the reason I'm talking about that is going to be explained in a minute. But what asperities are is if you have two metal pieces, such as these two, and they rub against each other, you're going to have all these little hills and valleys that have to mesh together like a puzzle piece for it to turn smoothly. Now, the reason I drew this is because I'm putting different rims onto the Honda than what was on there from the factory in the back. So if you imagine this is the drum part of the rear brake and this is the pad, you have all these little asperities that have to mesh for the brake pad to work correctly. The blue being the air between the two, if you hadn't figured that out. Anyway, the original wheel on the back of the bike was junk and I had to get rid of it, and it was fitted to the brake pad asperities. And this happens just by driving it and using the brake. They will wear into each other. So this is what wheel A looked like, and brake pad A. I did not use wheel A, but I am using the brakes from it in a different wheel, which has different asperities in it. Now, because these are not the same as the brake pad, what I did was take the brake pad and I lightly sanded it with wet or dry sandpaper, which is very fine. And the reason I did that is to smooth out all the asperities. Now, obviously, I've really exaggerated this. I mean, these asperities are microscopic, but it's just exaggerated for illustration. But you get the point. But now that that brake pad is flat, it can wear into the new drum on the different wheel that I'm using. So it will brake correctly, and the asperities will wear into each other, and I'll be able to stop. Okay, now what I'm doing is safety wiring off the swing arm around the castle nut to prevent it from turning loose. And I just got it twisted together here. I've gone around one of the towers, I guess, of the castle nut. And I'll go ahead and tighten that up. But I need two hands to do that, so I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. Alright, so there we are. We have the castle nut, which is probably not the right part secured on, but I think it's supposed to be a jam nut, but anyway, it's on, it's tight, it's not going anywhere. Next will be the seat and the air filters, and I'm going to wait on the side covers probably until spring because they're plastic and I don't want to break them putting in here, because cold plastic, bad idea. Take the side covers off your motorcycle in the fall when it's warm and put them on in the spring. That way you won't damage it. But other than air filters in the seat, we're pretty much ready to put gas in this thing and try it out.